Alright guys, let's have a look at Palantir today. 7%, pretty large move. This is a $252 billion valuation at this price, 107, 108, let's say. That's where it closed. So last time when I talked about this stock, I was saying that possibility of this stock, we were talking about the OPEX to OPEX, which I will briefly show you guys what's going on with the, if you're an options trader. And possibility of 42 and 130. So this was the April 16th. So it looks like it was last week. And I was showing you guys this chart where essentially, so this is a monthly chart, but these 2 months is right here. These are like OPEX to OPEX, essentially March and actually February to March to April OPEX to OPEX. So essentially from one option expiration to another option expiration in 2 months, this stock was pinned at one price. And if I show you on a daily chart, of course it had a range, okay? But the point is, essentially this is one option expiration. It opened and closed exactly almost like wherever it opened. And then same thing last month. And then I was saying that now after option expiration is over, April option expiration is over, now it has a room either to push higher or much lower. But now we're getting earnings pump. So they're reporting earnings, which is going to be 2 weeks from now, okay? And here is what I want to show you guys before we go a little bit further. Let's share this while I'm at it. So whenever you see ATR, average true range, implied volatility, and like volatility in general, so average true range, that's what it measures, the volatility, historic volatility for the stock. You can see when this stock was trading somewhere around lows of where did it go? I don't use TradingView, but this is very easy to show on this chart versus Thinkorswim doesn't show me like this. So that's why I'm pulling it up. So essentially, you guys can see as soon as we hit these tops, the range of the stock became higher, which means volatility was higher. And anytime you see stock trading with such high range, you will see these kinds of OPEX to OPEX shenanigans where pretty much market makers, market participants like option traders, they essentially pin the stock by selling puts, selling calls, and they will just trap the stock in the range. It will move up and down, but the point is they will get the stock to the point where it pretty much does the maximum pain both for the call buyers and whatever you are doing, like especially if you are hedging, buying an option, directional option for hedging purposes, long or short. I mean, this is what happens. This is just kills the premium by doing absolutely nothing. It will give you a range down or up like this, which again, if there wasn't volatility in the market, this stock wouldn't have come down. It would be just choppy like this and pretty much kill premium. So now, since we have all those options expired and now people are selling puts, because there's a lot of puts being sold and buying calls, now this stock is drifting higher. Again, how high it's going to go? Well, I have a resistance of 125, which is all-time highs. But I want to show you guys this chart, which I have already shared. So essentially, this is NVIDIA, okay? This is a daily chart in 2024. We had epic move in this name. So essentially, we did this move, consolidation, and then we pushed really high, and then we had this moment where essentially what I'm saying, and I actually given this example already once, where you guys saw this decline right here, which pretty much we pinpointed. Where is that Palantir? So essentially from 125 when it flushed down to like 95 in a matter of like 2-3 trading session, and I was comparing it to NVIDIA right at these levels, and then OPEX to OPEX, NVIDIA does nothing. OPEX to OPEX, NVIDIA pretty much does nothing again. But I'm saying that essentially now Palantir is repeating the same pattern of NVIDIA back in 2024, where it has done similar fashion. Like if you measure the drop to the all the way to the lows, and then if you measure the pop, like 40 something percent rally going into the earnings, and then going into the earnings a week before, it just tries to chop after like rallying higher and then trapping a lot of people to the long side. It will just be in a premium burning mode, come to the earnings support, and off the earnings it just doesn't move as much. Okay, it just doesn't move as much, and a lot of people who sold calls and puts, they will pretty much capitalize, and then stock pretty much, that's what happened essentially in NVIDIA's case, and stock declined after that 40% rally about 20%. So essentially this is what I'm waiting for Palantir to do, because like these price actions, of course it was last year with NVIDIA, it's same pattern, same algo, nothing new in the market, essentially same actors doing literally same thing, pinning the stock, pushing it higher, and it's all about like recognizing that pattern and trying to capitalize on that. Am I trading this stock? No, I did not follow this price action, but how high can it go? Well, essentially it can stall out at these levels of 115, 120, 125. But my point is, I do not think that Palantir will run away above 125 into the earnings, even though it can, because technically speaking, we don't have much of a resistance up until maybe these areas of 117, 115. Essentially, I'm watching for another like $10 move from here. If it grinds its way up and then essentially chops around and then it reports earnings, essentially what I'm saying is next week. So this week, maybe we have Friday, tomorrow. Okay, maybe a couple more days of a little bit of a melt up, and overall S&P 500 as well can melt up towards this 50-day moving average, and it will coincide with overall market hitting its resistance as well, and Palantir will hit that resistance as well. And then we have FOMC coming up, and then an anticipation of that FOMC, and also their report was 5th. So essentially, the next week, I'm expecting this stock essentially stall out at these 115, 117 areas and pretty much stay in the range and do this kind of a shenanigan where it just stays up and down, up and down, up and down. And then after they're reporting earnings, kill the premium and then come back test down the 50-day moving average. At the moment, it is trading at $90 levels. Maybe I would expect if it goes to say 117, similar fashion drop, maybe 20%, I would say, okay, it brings it down to these like $90 areas, which would be the stock coming back to the option expiration level of 93 last week. That's where it closed on OPEX, and maybe close. Market makers may try to close it again going into May 16th, which is the next big option expiration, and pretty much kill the premiums, whoever was buying like longer dated and they didn't capitalize. But this is my update for Palantir. And lastly, one more thing, volume leaders were, okay, so this is the cluster of orders where you can see how much of a resistance we have at these areas as well. So this is essentially where a lot of selling happened, and then Palantir dropped all the way to like 65 from those $120 levels, essentially 50% decline. And in the last, let's take a look. What's going on in the last like 7 days? Are there people already, maybe some people unloading into this move? Possible. I would take a profit on the way up, especially considering all these like large orders that came in, like number 16, 34 at those lows as buy orders, and then slowly they could be like trimming their position and getting out. So let's give it a little bit of a time. All right, there you go. So this is the cluster from today. So it looks like today 35 million, 310 million, 32 million, 21 million, and it's all came out 12:57, 12:53, 1 p.m., 1 p.m. So yeah, like hundreds, millions, essentially 3 million or so shares were dumped, half a billion, let's say. So I'm considering all these like the like big orders that came in at the support areas as buy orders, and I'm already seeing that people are trying to take profit into this move. Probably will not run away, okay, and probably like 110, 115, just like I said, like 117, this is the area. This is where a lot of supply already sitting, and a lot of people, some people are actually back holding it from those levels. So that's my update for Palantir. This is not a buy or sell recommendation. This is purely for entertainment and educational purposes only. I will see you guys probably somewhere around earnings report. That's the update for this week for Palantir stock. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.